It is April 11th, 2018. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, and this is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. With me, as always, is Raj Giri. Mr. Matt Morgan's coming along soon, and we're going to talk about SmackDown Live for April 10th, 2018, the after show of WrestleMania. Man, so much happening, some debuts, some feuds reignited, and a superstar shakeup happening next week. We're also going to talk about the Andre the Giant doc that premiered on HBO last night, and some news about the Undertaker and his next match at the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Mr. Matt Morgan, how's it going out there in Longwood, Florida?
Busy, very busy.
Thanks for making the time, man. Exciting week, exciting couple days. SmackDown capping it off last night. What are your initial thoughts of the show?
That I think they try to make Matt Morgan's head explode by putting AJ Styles in the same ring with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, that seemed like an appetizer, for things to come, because you kind of knew they weren't going to do a real finish. I mean, I think that would be giving away too much.
They were so smart. This is why chain wrestling is so important. In the beginning of the match with the chain wrestling that they were doing, as soon as they were doing that, I was like, okay, they're not going to a 20, 30-minute type of match, plus the timing of the show. But this is what you do as far as not giving it all away, but still putting the right pieces at the right part of the match to get fans excited, with AJ's little backflip off the second rope, little things like that. God, that's my dream match.
Yeah, me too. When they announced it, Glenn, you're on twice.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Me out.
Internet Explorer loves to crash randomly. It's funny you bring up the chain wrestling, Matt. That was my first thought when they were doing that, and then when Daniel was lifting him up with the finger lock, it was like, man, we don't see this. We don't see this very often at all in the WWE as of late.
And even that, guys, he does differently than anybody else.
Yeah, and I love, and just things like when he's kicking out, he's just kind of moving the shoulder. It looks more realistic than than a giant kick out or just stuff you're accustomed to. I love that it was a taste, and I love that match. And it was one of those things. I put away my computer, I put away Twitter, I didn't take any notes. So I was like, man, even though it's probably going to be Nakamura interfering, I'm going to enjoy this. And it was great. Nakamura was great. We'll go through it all.
Yeah, I mean, man, a lot happened last night. Opening the show with Shane McMahon announcing that Daniel Bryan's coming back as a full-time member of the roster. Now, we know, or active member of the roster. We know that he won't be full-time. But announced a new GM for SmackDown, and it's Paige, fresh off her retirement on Monday Night Raw. So, Matt, how do you think this is going to affect the dynamic of SmackDown going forward?
Hey, before we begin, am I good on my data, or should I switch to Wi-Fi?
You're good on your data.
You're good right now,
okay.
Man.
Yeah.
I loved it. Loved that. I thought that was great. It sounds so corny, but I got a little teary-eyed because now I know how much wrestling means to her. She's like one of us, like one of the boys, as far as being a little boy, 6 years old, dreaming to be a WWE superstar. Like, that's legit with her, as we've seen, right? With her history and her family's history. And to be told you can't do this anymore. Okay, that's one thing. Next, now you're no longer part of WWE. You're on the indie circuit. You're signing autographs, but you still can't wrestle. And then what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe she could act and do things like that, but her heart would be destroyed. So to see her get an opportunity to still be part of WWE, to be on a brand, to have a role, a big role at that, and she's a fan favorite. I thought it made great sense. I think it was good timing, although I thought they'd go a different direction. I thought we were going to hear Shane was bouncing, you know what I mean, and whatnot. But still, at the same time, I'm excited for her. I think it's good for the brand. Fans love her, obviously. I think it was cool.
I loved it. I thought it was perfect. Like, you were so sad the night before and wondering what she's going to do and feeling bad that, she can't be a part of this thing she loves. And you see all these tweets coming in and all this, support. And then here she is with a huge role. And when I was thinking of stuff for Paige, because we were saying on the podcast, like, there's so much she can offer. There's so much that she can do with the company. And for some reason, the GM role never popped in my head, but it was brilliant. And she can talk. She's got charisma. I hope that it's not always her and Shane. I hope Shane takes a back seat a little bit. But I think it was great.
Man, I wish we had Talking Smack with Paige as the co-host now.
Oh,
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Man, she was always great. Even on the Tough Enough after show, when they had that on the network, Tough Talk, she was great because, similar to Daniel Bryan, she just goes off script and just starts talking.
To Hulk Hogan, she talks smack to Hulk Hogan. It was great.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Tough Talk is actually the original reason I subscribed to the network because I was
Really?
like, oh, I really like Tough Enough, and I was like, I guess okay. I guess you got me. There's something I want to see.
Not WrestleMania, not SummerSlam.
At the time, I was on a bit of a sabbatical.
Unlimited nitros, no.
It's the most random crap. Don't you guys do that? It's like last night. I'm sure a lot of people signed up for HBO for the Andre doc, which we'll talk about later.
I did last night.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I paid $14.99 just for that.
See?
Just for that.
I've had HBO, but for Game of Thrones, I'm a giant Game of Thrones fan. But man, that was amazing.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that later.
Always what put you over, right? So the number one contenders match for the tag team titles happened after that. That was the New Day versus the Usos of who's going to be facing the Bludgeon Brothers at the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. I'm assuming one of these teams is moving next week, and this was one last chance to see the Usos and the New Day tear it up. How do you think this match compared, Matt?
Versus
all the other New Day Usos matches.
Just another one in the chapter. You could tell the guys, in my opinion, knew they were being separated and might not have an opportunity to work each other again. I felt that.
Yeah.
It was a good match. I mean, we've seen better from them, no offense, but I enjoyed it. I love their matches. I love their chemistry. Good storytelling.
You know what I hope? You know, Matt, we've talked about this before, how WWE, they do this weird thing when someone's leaving to the other brand, they job them out, they kind of beat them, clean and without much fanfare. And it almost seemed like with the New Day, I hope they just move Big E or just Kofi and Xavier and get Big E as a singles. Because I think
Big E could be, yeah,
because they had just switched brands last year, the New Day as a full unit, and I think just having one, it just changes it up a little bit. Big E could use it. He's so talented. He's great on the mic. I think he's due for a singles push now. So just move Big E or move Kofi and Xavier and have Big E as a singles on SmackDown. I think he'd do better on SmackDown right now.
What happens to the unit? Because no offense to Kofi and Xavier, Big E's a big part of that comedy act.
For sure, but look at what they got on Raw. Heath Slater and Rhino were in the tag team tournament, so they'd still be up there. They're not, it's true. They're smaller, so they, Big E added that size, so it wouldn't be the same, but at least it's something.
And so WWE would be let's just be honest. They're going to be losing one of their favorite things to have, and that is that cartoon act.
Yeah.
Because they'll try it, Xavier and Kofi, and God bless them. I hope they do a great job with it. I love both guys, but Big E, you're right. He needs to have a singles push. What can he do? You tell me what range he doesn't have to pull off any character you throw at him. The easiest one now is to go back to the old stoic monster. You know what I mean? Like he could do that in his sleep right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because of the range he now has showed us. I think he's so damn talented. And at first I hated what they were doing with him with this. I hated it. Yeah. I'm like, what are you guys doing? This dude's a legitimate badass, a real authentic athlete. You're doing this. What the hell? This is like me stuttering. Like, what are you doing? Just let him be himself, And I was wrong because him doing this gives him so much confidence, you guys. You won't even understand it because now he gets put into a singles run, let's say, because I agree this is going to happen, Raj. I know this is what you want, but I'm saying I think it will happen. And once it does, he's going to be on the mic in any setting you throw him in now, at any level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that? I can explain it to you. It might sound stupid to you guys, but when I got released from WWE and the stuttering character didn't work, and they're like, go to Japan, we'll get you off TV, bring you back in a year, and we'll bring you back as Matt Morgan, and we'll do something different with you. It'll get you out of people's memories, the stuttering thing. Cool, great. But when I had an opportunity to go to TNA instead, I was way better on the microphone all of a sudden because I was doing something I wasn't comfortable doing at first. But because I got through it, I was able to add a new layer, so to speak, of confidence to myself when it came time to talking on the mic. Hence the Blueprint persona, hence me being a little bit more of me. And for him,
yeah,
sky's the limit. You know what I mean? With the layers he's added.
Yeah, and he can be a main event guy, and I hate to say that it could hurt Kofi and Xavier. I mean, it could. I mean, it could really hurt him, but it's worth it having that main event talent.
So true, definite main event. Yes.
We shall see what happens Monday in the Superstar Shakeup. Naomi versus Natalya last night. Naomi out for win of the Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania. Natalya doing the Natalya thing. I'm assuming one of them is switching brands after this match where Naomi picked up a win. Oh, and the Usos did win the #1 contendership in that previous tag match.
And that didn't make sense, right? The Usos, because their storyline the night before, like The Miz, he gets an automatic rematch. He's going to, use it at Saudi Arabia. And here, Usos and Randy Orton had to fight to get a rematch, even though, again, it's WWE storylines and you can't expect too much continuity. But when they did the thing the night before with The Miz, stay consistent, Anyway.
It's WWE, man. Exactly. Like, I want you to go on Twitter, Raj, and be like, Road Dogg, I noticed last night on SmackDown.
I know.
Yeah.
It was a good match. I like the Naomi versus Natalya match too, but it felt like filler.
Oh, absolutely, man. But think about it. So Becky had a dark match against Ruby Riott before the show started. They had to keep her as far away from TV as possible with the angle they went with Charlotte last night, getting attacked and beat down. Naomi, I mean, hey, this is, the spoils of having one Sunday night. So, Matt, what do you think they do with Naomi and Natalya? Do you think either would fare better on Raw?
I think Naomi, next to Charlotte, is the most talented in ring, like athletic and charismatic. She makes you feel something. She's everything you should be, right? I think. And Raw's the A show, right? So I don't know. I'd like to see her on Raw and get a big in a larger role, But I don't know. There's something about SmackDown that makes me more comfortable with talents that I could see Vince screwing up. Do you know what I mean? Versus being left alone.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know what to make of that. I don't. I could see either one going. I don't think it really. No disrespect to either lady. I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, and real quick, people are correcting me. It's Miz versus Seth at Backlash, and the Greatest Royal Rumble. It's the Miz and Seth Rollins in a 4-way with Samoa Joe.
Ooh,
who are the other two guys?
I thought it was
from Mania. Seth and Finn?
I think it's Rollins and Finn.
Yeah.
Wow, they're really trying to make my head explode.
Yeah, that card is. I don't know. In a lot of ways, it's better than Mania.
How much money? Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. What were you going to say?
You got to admit, sometimes it's really, really fun to be a fan.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year.
Right? Because I'll say this right now. To my opinion, my 2 cents, SmackDown was better than Raw. I know it's a huge statement because of what happened on Raw with all these debuts. I get it.
I agree.
My fandom, I was louder, like a good little Mark, yelling at my TV last night.
Yep.
Yeah, I think SmackDown only had one real misstep last night, and the rest I thought was aces, man. I mean, so that Naomi-Natalya match where Naomi won was followed with Shinsuke Nakamura explaining his actions against AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and oh my God, savage ending to that savage punchline that I hope is not quite the direction they're going in with him in the future, because that could get really kind of a little borderline offensive.
Yeah, I hope he's not like American fans. This is what you expect. I hope they don't turn it like into a U.S. anti-U.S. thing, like they did with
gender thing.
Yes, I hope they don't do that. I hope it's just him being a smartass, and that's it. Because I thought it was great.
That was amazing. I mean, Matt, what was your reaction to the whole thing?
What part was amazing? Said?
Okay, so when he started with the oh, I'm so sorry, and he was doing the wink.
He said he got too emotional.
Yeah, too emotional. But then when Renee was like, "Come on, you're being disingenuous," and then he took that pause and then did the sorry, no speak English, and then just left.
He goes, sorry, I no speak English.
Yeah, it was just like, oh.
But he said it in a really smart ass way, not. I
liked it.
It wasn't. It was awesome.
I'm very intrigued. Very intrigued with him as a heel.
I think he already has the spark that he hasn't had in a long time.
I'm interested, though. What do you think in his entrance? In my opinion, he cannot change that entrance. Just be a little bit more cocky. That's all.
Yeah. Just
people are so paying to see that.
Yeah, don't go into the barricades and
Right.
with the fans, but yeah, just kind of be a little more menacing when you're coming out, but still do the stuff. So
Yep.
And he was a heel for a good portion of his career in Japan, so this is not new to him.
yeah,
People regard that run very well. So yeah, I really dug that last night. I thought that was just a killer promo and so effective. After that, Charlotte in the ring thanking Asuka for their match Sunday at WrestleMania, and then interrupted by the Iconics, no longer the iconic duo, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, coming out from NXT, just making a hell of a splash. Matt, what did you think, and how familiar were you with their run in NXT?
Very familiar.
Yeah.
And I think they take duo off of it to keep it open ended. You never know, they could put another girl in there. That's the only reasoning I could think of. I was like, why would they
trademark?
Yeah.
Well, if it was trademarked, they would have stopped using it a while ago, right?
Someone online posted there's a trademark for iconic duo for T-shirts and other things that's not WWE.
Well, there you go. There's your answer.
How'd they go get it for so long in NXT? Unless
we're merchandising them then,
right? But still, you thinking ahead, you would think not to use it.
Although iconic duo probably had a shelf life, being named after the meme. Iconics is broader, and again, WWE trademarks noticed as iconic with two eyes. At the beginning,
like Ruby Riot with the two T's.
Really? Yeah, which I didn't pick up on first. Just it's double iconics. It is lame. But their promo was next level. In NXT, I loved what they've done, but the problem they would have is they would start talking too fast and over each other. And last night, what they did so well was they took those beats and those pauses where they gave it room to breathe, and I thought it was so much more effective. They did.
That was a very heavily scripted promo. Like to be expected. This is what they do on the shows. But they made, in my opinion, chicken salad out of chicken shit, excuse my language, with the verbiage they were given about when mocking Charlotte. Those two girls on their own can do just fine. That's their whole shtick. It's their whole gimmick. It's to be mean girls and make fun of the other girls. They don't need the writers to write that for them. But that said, because that was prevalent to me. That was written for them at one point in the promo. And I'm being super duper like under the microscope here, really like inspecting their promo here, because I watched back 3 different times to watch it because I'm fans of them, especially Billie Kay between the two of them. So I don't know. I like the beatdown. Charlotte, believe it or not, is my favorite. Had a little flashback to her older Raw promos where she wasn't as strong. Remember? Mm-hmm. In her promos, I didn't think that promo was that strong in the beginning to set this off. You know what I mean? Again, I'm being nitpicky as hell, but I don't know what it was about it that it was a disconnect for me. But the two girls, when they came out, they destroyed her. It was great. It was exactly what needed to happen. I wish they showed their promo on TV, the backstage extra piece that they put on the network about what the two just did. A little follow-up. Because it shows their back and forth between the two, and they're, believe it or not, you guys think I'm crazy for this. I dissect everyone's accents, and I think if their accent is too thick, it can disconnect the times with the fans. Those two have come so far. Like if you remember when they first started, their accents were way thicker, and now their Australian accents aren't as thick for whatever rhyme or reason. I don't know if they go to class. I don't know what they're doing, but it's better. They were very succinct. You can hear them. Their timing was great. Their confidence was through the roof. Very, very well done. I liked their debut.
I thought their promo was really good. I thought it went a little long with Charlotte standing there.
Standing there. Yeah.
Yeah. But that beatdown, I don't know. I don't know if they got too excited, but they had trouble throwing her, Charlotte over the top. Then it took forever to get her back in the ring. I couldn't, Peyton just it looked like she couldn't lift her. But they did what, they were supposed to do. It was effective, and it led to the Carmella cashing in, which I think most people expected that last night. And I liked it better this way.
I did like the cash in too. I like the fans were chanting for it. Felt that moment for her, it was just cool.
So go ahead and Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Carmella did come out and cash in. They faked us out a little bit with the ref not understanding. Like, so you really want to
kill him? I wanted to strangle him.
I hate how these refs act like they've never seen a briefcase. They don't know what a it's like.
But isn't it any worse than like a ladder match? How they're trying to climb a ladder? Like no one in the history of mankind has ever tried to climb a ladder.
Guys, they did that on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, they're building the drama, but it got ridiculous there for a minute.
It got me angry, not in a good Markish way. Angry.
And they're just staring at them like, what, this? You mean this? What's this?
Take this. Take it over there. But hey, you know what? She cashed in. She pinned Charlotte. She won. She's the new women's champ.
You know what they should have had? They should have had the ref taken a bump during that match, so he's out of it or something, and that's why it's taken so long for him to figure out what's going on.
But did you hear the crowd though? The crowd was getting. I mean, that's how you get everyone, edge of their seat about it.
Yeah.
So she won.
I mean, it worked for building it up, but
yeah. So she won, which is good. Charlotte versus Carmella has been advertised for house shows, providing, I'm assuming they're staying on the same brand, although card subject to change. But this is a bit of a reset on the women's division. I think Charlotte as the top champ, they were going to be in a corner if they didn't have a monster heel to book her against. And now we can have her in the chase for a little while, or maybe bring in another contender.
Or maybe have Charlotte go to Raw.
Yeah.
It's weird, because the listings for upcoming live events, they haven't really tipped their hands too much on who's moving, but they are advertising Asuka for some SmackDown live events. When originally she was advertised against Nia Jax, so Asuka might be moving to SmackDown. We'll see. And if that's the case, then I think Charlotte should move to Raw.
Yeah.
That's what I saw with her losing as well.
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
We will know.
Well, the fact that they're doing 2 days means there's probably going to be a lot, right? When they did the Superstar Shakeup last year, wasn't it just 1 day, or was that 2?
It wasn't even a day. It was just during the episode where they just had people come over.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was not billed as an event last year. In fact, it was almost them saying we're not doing another draft, guys. This isn't a big thing. We're just going to make a couple little moves.
Yeah.
After that, okay, so we had to take a dip eventually, right? You can't just keep peaking and peaking and peaking. We had the triple threat contenders match for the US title, Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton versus Rusev, with Jinder Mahal on commentary. This was deciding who's going to face Jinder at Backlash. And Randy Orton won that match, hitting the RKO.
I think Roode is going to Raw. I mean, they kind of...
Yeah.
He was getting killed by Rusev, and then just Orton comes in, just hits the RKO on him, and gets the win. I mean, they kind of made Roode look like nothing here.
I hope he does go to Raw.
Yeah, he needs a
reset.
Reset. I hope he goes to Raw as a heel.
I don't know, guys.
Change overnight. He's not just going to show up. I'm a bad guy, guys.
He just showed up and was a good guy. It's like, Matt, I know you love the Iconics last night, but how much more effective would it have been if they would have showed up as baby faces and gotten into a feud with Dolph Ziggler? I mean, clearly that's the path to NXT talent coming to the main roster.
You lost me, but okay.
So
it's all land, folks. I try.
WWE, it seems like they're going out of their way to bury Rusev, kind of. He didn't even.
Saudi Arabia.
What?
So Rusev's going to be in a casket match against the Undertaker in Saudi Arabia in 2 weeks.
It's a great. Are you kidding? What a great honor for Rusev.
Yeah, but it'll probably be, a 2-minute squash.
So what?
Well, look, Rusev, they're beating him left and right. They're beating him left and right. It's clear they want fans to stop chanting Rusev Day, and it's just like.
You don't think they know that shit doesn't work anymore? You don't think they know that with Daniel Bryan over the years and other people? You don't think they get it?
The chants aren't as loud as they were. After
fans, let's go. What are you doing?
Same as Ty Dillinger. They don't chant 10 as much as they used to.
Well, Ty, they just kept off TV for 3 months.
Yeah, he showed up in a hockey rink locker room, 20 weeks later with a promo.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's clear they're not. I mean, they could be doing so much more with him, obviously. And
they could do so much more. We can say that about anybody.
No, but Rusev was actually getting over with the crowd. Now, whether it's the chant or not, at least try to have it spread to the man, you know, at least try to take that momentum and then, you know, run with it a little bit. But I mean,
he's so talented, and the thing is, he's so much more talented than just a Rusev Day thing. Like, I loved him as a heel when he had his run. I thought he was so solid in the ring. He was good enough on what he had to do as a heel on the mic. He had a great manager, Valet. She did overshadow him at first, if you remember, but still, it worked. So he could do everything, in my opinion. So I want to ask the fans this, Raj, like one-on-one, one by one. I know you can't do this, but I'd love to get fans' opinions and say, I want to ask you guys one question. 6 months from now, let's say they push Rusev to the moon, okay? 6 months from now, will you still be chanting Rusev Day, or will you be chanting for Rusev himself, the talent, the person, the character?
All right, in the chat, let's see it. Would you be chanting Rusev or just Rusev Day? And I'm guessing,
I want to slant everyone's opinion and say, please say Rusev. No, I like him so much. I just think he's so damn good.
Yeah, exactly. So people are saying Rusev, but
well, Rusev is in Rusev Day. It's not like it's the 10 Ty Dillinger.
But the day it makes it.
I know.
It's just a fun chant where the fans are being fans.
Now, I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter last night, he tweeted out something about, you know, perhaps a change of pace is in order, maybe tipping the hand that he's going to Raw.
If this is what they're doing with him on SmackDown, what are they going to do to him on Raw?
Yeah, I mean, especially with Brock and Roman in the main title picture, there's just less oxygen.
Or am I wrong because the fact Raw is 3 hours versus a 2-hour show? Maybe he does get an opportunity with extra time.
Yeah, but who's he going to be going up against? Titus Worldwide? Or
we can't say who because we don't know who's going where. We really can't.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't see him. If this is what they're doing with him right now, I don't see him in a main event feud, at least not anytime soon. It's weird because he's got the size that WWE likes. He's pretty jacked. He's got charisma. He's funny when if they'd let him be.
He's athletic. He's got a hot ballet.
Yeah.
What the frick else does he need? Or no, what am I saying? Hot ballet. She's gone.
Yeah, but he could. They're not doing anything with Lana.
Yeah. I think when he cut his hair, this is all what happened, right?
Yeah.
All of this, it seems like.
It's true. Like he kind of lost his push when he cut his hair. Like Vince gets up on stuff like that.
It's like Samson. Don't you remember? And then Vince proceeds to retell the entire story of Samson.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like stuff like that. If you get a tattoo when you're not when you don't get it checked with the front office, and he gets pissed unless you're like Randy Orton or something like that.
Yep, he even ripped into Batista and Brock. They both got back tattoos at the same time down in OVW.
Oh wow!
And Cornette went bananas on them, but then so did The Office.
Yeah,
especially Brock, because Brock they wanted to be this all American before Jack Swagger. You know what I mean? Like really push the all American thing with him. Yeah. And this dude's coming out with tattoos. What are you doing, Brock? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be Randy Orton versus Jinder at Backlash. If you didn't like it last year for the main title, I'm sure it'll be better for a mid-card title like the US.
It's a Backlash, right?
Yeah, I believe it's a Backlash.
I'm getting like the two cards confused now.
It's amazing they're trying to do this in such quick succession of one another.
Yeah.
Is there anything that can redeem this? I mean, the matches were what they were last time. I mean, maybe the Singh brothers turn on Jinder.
Well, there's only one Singh brother right now.
That's true.
Why have him turn on him? He's just his corner man, you know?
Yeah. Hey, 3MB, now is the time, if ever. Move Heath over.
Don't even put that out there.
Don't even. Jinder's come a long way. That would be
I know.
I just think him and Orton is just not the right dynamic.
It's not.
You could do him and Rusev, turn Rusev babyface, you know?
They'd have killer matches every night in, night out. House shows would be, seriously, every match.
And they would be going for Rusev big time in that, too.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I do. You know what? That is it's something else I appreciate about Jinder. There is no cool stuff he's doing. There's no way he'll ever get a cheer. I like that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
He's trying to be a heel, not a cool heel, or not trying to get, catchphrases over.
I think that's why
Maharaja kind of is.
Yeah. Or do like fancy moves, you know what I mean, and crap like that. I like that meat and potatoes.
Yeah. I think that's why Vince is high on him still, because of his physique, the fact that he is old school heel, and obviously Randy. I mean, look, Randy has a large legacy within the company, so they've always seen him as a star.
Randy is Randy.
Yeah.
He's earned his stripes,
Yeah, I get it on paper why this is happening, but it's just not exciting television. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the main event. We got 2 or 3 segments with this last night. And
was it really? Was it 3?
I know there was at least 1 commercial break, because that's when I went to start up HBO on the other inputs so I could seamlessly transition to the Andre doc.
Yeah, they came, like they said, it's up next with 30 minutes to go. And then they came back and did a couple backstage things. And then by the time they got in the ring, it was like 15 to 20 minutes left in the show. Yeah.
I could have sworn it was only maybe 6 to 8 minutes of actual in-ring action itself, not entrances.
Yeah, because they also cut to a commercial in the middle. So I think the amount we saw was probably more, something like that.
Good job stretching it out, WWE, to make it seem that way. That's good. Seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed they waited so long to do the run-in with Nakamura, to have him come and interfere. I really thought that was going to happen sooner. They gave us more of this match than I thought they were going to give us on TV.
Yeah. Well, Nakamura, I don't know if you want to drag down that beatdown either. I thought he did what he should have done, and it was effective. Like I love that post-match attack. Obviously, like any fan, we'd love to see AJ and Daniel Bryan in a full match, 30 minutes with a finish. But knowing that they weren't going to do that yet, this was great.
It was. I was a little worried for my boy AJ for a minute because he's in there with Daniel, right? These are my 2 favorites, but I'm like, he's going to get drowned by Daniel Bryan chance. He's your champion. He's your babyface champion. But the fans, God bless them, they did their part. You know what I mean? They appreciated a good match. They appreciated 2 great talents and the excitement that 2 great talents could put out there and paint that great picture that they were starting to paint.
And not just that, there was one point in the match where they had the dueling chants going for AJ.
That's what I mean. Yes.
And one wasn't that much louder than the other. Like it was, Daniel Bryan was louder, but not by as much as you would expect.
Right. I expect AJ to get completely drowned by it. You know what I mean? Daniel's friggin' whole new other galaxy over.
I could see some fans just chanting for both. Like they're doing both sides of the dueling chant.
I would.
Yeah.
I would. I swear to God, those are my 2 favorites. And then throw in Rollins, KO for a while there.
Yeah.
That'd be my dream 4-way.
Yeah, it was really good last night. Left, I think, everyone wanting more. And Nakamura coming in, doing a knee to the back of Daniel Bryan's head.
What am I saying? Nakamura. KO output. Nakamura. That'd be my dream 4-way. Sorry.
Yeah.
Matt, you should get like a top 10 list with magnet cards so you can change it every week. Your favorites.
No, hey, come on. Those have always been my favorites.
What about Finn? What'd you put?
Finn's like right there 5 or 6.
Yeah, no, they're the in ring. They're the best for sure.
I thought it was great last night. It's amazing. I'm sorry.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I was going to say really quick, just an anecdote here, guys. If you could see it, the pace and to be a performer and a wrestler. I'm not going to say performer, but wrestler in WWE and the main event is on a whole different level right now that this business has never seen before. Think about it. Like, you've got to be, I hate to say it's a stupid 5-star match. I hate that. But you've got to be an incredible worker now to and do it all at a faster pace to a degree to be in the main event now with WWE, which is the way it always should be, in my opinion. And right now, I don't think we'll ever see, unless, the years forward, but in the past, we've never seen, in years past, talent on this level as far as getting it done in between the ropes. You know what I mean? Like, the work rate's incredible right now at an all-time high.
Yeah. This is talent-wise, it's insane. Yeah.
No, last night,
we'll get to it. But promo wise, it's not the best
hit or
it's
miss.
ever been.
You know, I thought last night was really, really good, with the exception of the Jinder Randy stuff and that Fatal 4-Way, or the 3-Way rather. I thought it was an excellent episode of SmackDown. Very exciting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I'm giving them an A. How about that? An A.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
That's awesome. So right after that last night, we had the Andre the Giant doc debut on HBO.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I didn't catch 205 Live. The Andre doc took precedence. Man, how great was that? I loved it. What do you guys think?
Wilt Chamberlain was the first autobiography I've ever read as a kid. And then I read one on Andre. And that was my first favorite wrestler of all time, was Andre. I cried when he got his hair cut by Ken Patera. And S.D. Jones, lazy ass, just sat on the outside of the ring, selling, just being thrown over the top rope. He said he sold it for like 12 minutes. Yeah. Anyways, and Andre had his hair cut, and I cried, and that was the first story I ever got emotionally invested in. He became my guy. So why I knew everything I thought there was to know about him. Everything, from every character, for the few different characters he played earlier on, to how they discovered him. I thought I knew everything. Last night, holy crap, guys, like 3/4 of that stuff I did not know about Andre. They did an amazing job of uncovering untold stories about this man.
Yeah, it was, I mean, so to me, like, Hogan versus Andre was wrestling for me. You know, like that Savage versus Steamboat was one of my favorite matches of all time. But Hogan versus Andre, that's what like sucked me in. I watched it I'd watch it here and there when I could. But once Andre turned on Hogan, I was a diehard fan ever since. And that was two super larger than life comic book, you know, heroes clashing, and you classic good guy Andre turning on him. I mean, that storyline, you don't see that anymore, where you got the two larger than life icons. And
14-year, 20-year undefeated streak. You know, we had Andre had such folklore built up behind that.
Right. And even though that wasn't true,
you know, you didn't know that as a kid.
Exactly. As a kid, you didn't know that Andre and Hogan had wrestled before. You didn't know that Andre had been body slammed before.
Yeah.
But so when all that happened in that match, it just felt like history. It was one of those moments I'll never forget. And Andre, you think how would he do today? Do you think, if he was coming around in his prime?
Ooh. In his prime, he'd be phenomenal. He'd be able to keep up. Jim Cornette used to tell me that his athleticism was like out of this world. Like,
he used to do drop kicks and stuff.
Yeah, he used to say, not for a big guy, Matt. He used to say for anybody. Yeah. Anybody of any shape and size, he could keep up athletically.
Yeah, the fact that you see Braun Strowman doing so well, you think that Andre would still, even in today's day and age, would still do awesome. I doubt he'd go through NXT.
and the thing is, I hope fans don't, when we were talking about this, we're not talking about Andre with a lot of the fans saw him when he could hardly walk. He had to lean on Bobby Heenan and his manager to make his entrance, because he, you know, not those days when he was in all that pain, but when he was a young, you know, Andre.
Yeah.
And that was cool, all the archive footage they had from the different territories.
Like, oh my God, him chopping down the tree. I never saw that.
Yeah.
I only saw the photo of that as a kid. I never got to see the actual video of that, but that was so cool.
Yeah, seeing a bunch of all those old school Andre videos and footage from his early days. It's, stuff I'd never seen before. I kind of started, most of the stuff I saw was like late 70s on, when he had the big afro and it was, you know, wore trunks, but you know, was babyface.
Blue trunks,
yeah.
I love all the WrestleMania 3 stuff they were talking through, even showing Hogan's like notepad and the notes he had sketched out for the match.
Yeah,
that was just the pacing in the documentary was very smart. Now I know some people were saying online they may have, you know, messed with the timeline a little bit and some of the stuff there, but the way they paced it and structured it to give that as sort of the emotional climax before talking about his waning health, I thought this was expertly well done. Love that the WWE cooperated but didn't control it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I always used to think Hogan was full of shit when he would say that he didn't know what the finish of that match was going to be. But after watching it, I was like, maybe he didn't. You know, I think everyone said that they told Hogan that Andre was going to lose, and Hogan kind of acknowledged that, but he didn't know how he was going to lose, if Andre was going to flip the script. And I believed him last night, in that doc.
Yeah, that part was true, because all Andre had to do was not let him slam him,
right,
and just sit on him. You know what I mean? And then Hulk loses.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. Like Hogan talking about how he would try to put Vicks vapor rub during the breakup to tear up when they did that angle on Piper's Pit. So it was really cool. It was interesting with Vince and Andre.
God.
Like I did not know that they ended off kind of on bad terms. And
because he went over to Ted Turner for a minute, right?
Yeah, he just appeared like in the crowd at Clash of Champions once, and like was an invited guest. They interviewed him outside, but Vince, he was saying like that Andre was upset with him at the end, and their last conversation, he says he blocks it out of his mind. He blocks out negative, and he doesn't remember because he blocks it out. So that was really interesting. I did not know that they ended up kind of on bad terms, because you see him holding him in such high regard, and it's interesting stuff. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to watch it.
And I hope there'll be a director's cut. I've read a lot of interviews with the director, and he was saying there was like a whole arc with Stephanie McMahon and her relationship with Andre that they shot.
I was going to say, I'm surprised they didn't tie into that, because that was her. Like, you want to humanize Andre, you show the stuff that he used to how he used to treat her. He's treated her like his princess.
Yeah.
Well, the director said he didn't want to step on the narrative with Andre's daughter, essentially by having the stuff contrasting that, which I thought was interesting. But man, those interviews, I mean, when you have guys like Ric Flair and Jerry Lawler and even Vince that all combined maybe made, 8 minutes between them in the documentary, you have to imagine there's just some great footage left on the cutting room floor. And with Vince at the end, man, I mean, yeah, that was incredible. So,
I mean, they didn't touch on his stuff with Chuck Wepner, that boxer versus wrestler thing that was on the Antonio Inoki versus Muhammad Ali undercard. They didn't touch on. They didn't do much on his time in Japan. Like, he had a huge run there. They didn't do stuff much after WrestleMania 3. He went to Japan a few times. He won the tag titles with Haku, and really didn't do much. Was in the corner of the Bushwhackers for a while. So just a little more, there's a lot more they could do, but with the time constraints, I mean, it's like Ric Flair with that ESPN documentary. You really got to pick what you want to focus on, because there's just so much. I mean, it could be a 6-part miniseries if you wanted to do it,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. Highly recommend everyone go out, subscribe to HBO, get your friends HBO Now login, do what you have to do to watch this documentary. It was absolutely fantastic. And then last night, just a cherry on top of everything we've experienced with SmackDown, the Andre doc, coming on the heels of WrestleMania weekend, news broke around midnight last night that The Undertaker is wrestling again at the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, going against Rusev in a casket match. Man, so yeah, Taker not done, and that's not going to be his last match. So, I think the predictions that this could be shorter certainly makes sense. I just wonder, how much is Saudi Arabia paying the WWE for this?
It's got to be massive, because this is like a WrestleMania-like card that they're putting on over there. Yeah. So it's got to be. I mean, they're doing it in the stadium, but you can't think the ticket prices are that high. They must be getting a lot of money for this event, because they are loading it up. Chris Jericho, they didn't, Chris Jericho had a show the day of WrestleMania, but if enough advance warning, they could have canceled the show and have him appear, but they didn't have Jericho appear there. He's going to be in this Royal Rumble match, and they officially announced it on Monday. So Kurt Angle's going to be in it too. Daniel Bryan, Braun Strowman, tons of other people. So this thing is stacked, and yes, we will have a podcast right after the show. It's on a Friday, again at noon Eastern. So probably like 60,000. Yes, it's like 60,000 fans.
Is this Friday?
No. 2 weeks from Friday.
2 weeks. Okay.
Man, if the Superstar Shakeup's hot and they keep this going, I mean, this is just going to be an amazing month. WrestleMania to Backlash if they don't screw this up.
Yeah, almost every year after Mania, and this was what I was saying after with throwing so many surprises, the night after and not spreading it out, it fizzles out quick. So hopefully they can continue to keep the momentum going for a while. And they got this Royal Rumble event to build to, so maybe they will.
Yeah.
The TV deal should be announced, you would think, in the next few months. And that's going to be gigantic. If it's Fox and Raw moves to Fox, goes to 2 hours.
Everything changes.
Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do because, being on Pacific time and me on Mountain time, with a dish, and there's a lot of ways you could watch it live. Even though cable, they show the West Coast feed, which is on a 3-hour delay. But with Fox, it's on a network, so they don't provide a live feed. So
I got some hookups, Raj. I'll direct you some sites.
We'll find a way.
We can watch East Coast feeds.
But if you're on Pacific and Mountain, you can't get live feed on a dish.
Yeah, what is that going to do? I mean, what's that going to do for programming? Like, that's so stupid to put wrestling fans in that predicament. Watching live is, I think, such a big part of fandom, especially now with social media. Like, stuff would get ruined so easily if it was on a tape delay.
Unless they do it live. It's live on all the coasts, and they just have filler programming between Raw and the local news after. I don't know. That would, because usually their primetime block is set. But again, live sports and stuff does just change things. So we'll see. Hopefully it's live, all across the U.S.
Yeah. So, superstar shakeup predictions before we wrap this.
All right. You see any big jumps between Raw and SmackDown, like top guys?
I can't predict that. I'll be honest. I can't. How do you?
Just going by the booking, they kind of killed Miz Taraj something fierce. I could see them.
Okay.
Like minor stuff.
Yeah, like Seth Rollins. The fact that they said it 20 times, he doesn't want to go to SmackDown, that tips my hand a little bit.
If Seth Rollins moved to
Raw,
SmackDown, then
SmackDown.
Then you'd probably have to have the US champ move to Raw.
Yeah, like what
so Jinder would
shitty deal for Jinder. Raw. Like, we're losing Seth Rollins, but good news, guys, we're gaining Jinder Mahal.
Hey, Jinder, if you're watching, I think that's a great move. I'm a fan, Jinder.
I like Jinder too, man, but let's be real.
No,
like, where's
don't.
Jinder on your top 5 list?
No,
Matt?
he doesn't. Jinder, he doesn't like you.
Where's Jinder in your list, Matt?
Jinder, he doesn't.
He's an online bully. He's bullying you. Where's Jinder? Top 10.
Okay.
Seriously, top 10 people I like to watch perform in the ring. No question. Yeah.
Wow.
Go back and watch his match versus Finn, and he's good. You got to put him in the ring with some people, though.
So not necessarily predictions, but if you had to name 3 guys on Raw that could use a move to SmackDown, who would you pick?
Finn Balor.
Yeah.
How about our boy from Bullet Club? How about Gallows and Anderson?
Oh yeah.
I think that could help. I think they'd have some freedom.
Mm-hmm. I could definitely see that one for sure.
But bigger guys, bigger names. I'm lost, honestly. I don't know.
I think Jeff Hardy. I'd throw Jeff Hardy in there.
Yeah, that would be good.
What makes you do that?
Just because I think he'd be a main event guy on SmackDown, whereas on Raw, he's in that he's in that intercontinental kind of upper mid card area, and I think he could be higher.
You could steal a main event with Jeff Hardy on Raw in a singles match versus the champ.
Right, but he would be a pay-per-view main event, I think, on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Bailey and Sasha, I think if they're going to keep telling that story, SmackDown's a better platform to do it.
I could see. I mean, Sasha would be good, but yeah, I feel like they got to finish the storyline with Bailey. Yeah, I guess they could move both.
I think Bailey would be great on SmackDown, actually. Yeah.
And then you move maybe like Ruby Riott and I don't know, someone else.
They just have so much talent, man.
Yeah.
They got to do something. I mean, how many women's tag teams would you need to have a division 4 teams, 6 teams.
You know, they got like 4 right now on Raw.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They could do 4 women's tag teams.
I don't think they need another title.
It depends on what they do. You know what was so great going back to the Andre doc. I kind of wish they'd done with Asuka what they done when they did actually do it with Asuka. But I think they should do it with Ronda as well. What they did with Andre, where it's not even about the title. It's just about the nobody can beat me. I don't need a belt. You know, I'm the attraction. I think having Andre not in the title picture for so long is a testament to how well that killer angle works. And
but when they did put, and then when they finally put him in the title program, it was one of the biggest, most iconic matches of all time.
That's true. And that was kind of, I mean, yeah, not to get back into the Andre thing, but that's where it was kind of crazy. Even Vince admitting that Andre got mad at him with the "you used me" and that whole thing, I thought was like, whoa, this is way more real than Vince McMahon ever gets.
Right.
But yeah, I think, so what do you do with Asuka? Does Asuka stay on Raw or go to SmackDown?
Well, it's kind of looking like she might be going to SmackDown. And I think that might be a good fit for her. I think she was getting kind of stale on Raw. Now move Charlotte to Raw. Yeah, I think people from I could see Rusev might be good with a change of scenery. So there's TV advertising. Take this with a grain of salt, but this is an actual ad for Extreme Rules in July. And granted, they changed these lineups; they put placeholders, but it's advertising AJ Styles versus Nakamura versus Baron Corbin in a triple threat match.
What?
Yeah, we got a photo of the ad on Wrestling Inc. So hopefully that's they're not firm with that plan.
One of those things is not like the other.
Right.
What do they see in Barrett? I mean, like,
but you don't want to throw your big guns on Extreme Rules either. You want to save that for SummerSlam and Money in the Bank. So could be. Who knows?
I agree with you, Glenn. I mean, what's weird though about Baron, which he said, what do you see in Baron? What is it that they see in Baron? He's got size. He's got it. You know, he's obviously a former NFL player.
Sure.
Obviously we see why, but he has not made that connection.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line, man. He just has not made that connection.
You can't have to look anymore. You got to have more than that.
Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. I think he's a good mid-card heel, but I wouldn't put him in.
Remember they had him throw out Braun Strowman in the Royal Rumble like a year ago? It's clear they were like really looking to rocket strap the guy. And then,
yes, they were.
Then he spoke out at a backstage meeting to some WWE doctor and that kind of killed plans. Yeah, about concussions, and it's been downhill since. He's gotten a little bit of his momentum back, but
if he can just get on that Bosley hair system, I think his career is going to shoot to the moon.
Just to shave his head.
Oh, yeah.
I think he'd look weird with a shaved head, though. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, God, I feel like we've covered an amazing amount here in less than an hour. Raj, is there anything else that we should?
No, man. What a crazy week. Wrestling Inc. We're going to have NXT tapings coverage tonight. So it's still not over yet. But WrestleMania week's kind of over. I almost got 5 hours of sleep last night, which is the most I've had in like a week and a half. So hoping for 6 to 7 tonight.
Are they doing 2 sets of tapings? Is this going to take them up to Money in the Bank?
I think it's just tonight. It's going to take them to May. They got another set of tapings in May. Gotcha. On May 10th, I think.
Okay. So everybody know that you're going to be pretty spoiled on NXT if you read those articles on Wrestling Inc. going around. But no, I'm excited, man. Excited to see what happens. Well, cool, everybody. BP Matt Morgan 4 Longwood on Facebook. Anything you want to plug here while we cap off a stellar week of podcasts?
No, good job, guys. We had a lot of hours we had to put in. Good job, you two.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks, man.
It was fun. It was fun. The last 4 out of 5 days we had a podcast. So if you missed any, catch up. And I still haven't seen that ladder match from NXT, so I need to watch that. I'm hoping to watch that today or tomorrow.
Wait. It's gonna be a good little treat. It's a hell of a match.
Yeah, I heard that was the show stealer.
So good.
Excited about that.
Cool, guys. Stay tuned to Wrestling Inc. for all the latest. There will be more stories coming out, I'm sure, in advance of Greatest Royal Rumble, post-WrestleMania. And who knows, last year, the only release they did post-Mania happened on a Friday, so the week's not over. I'm sure there are some people sweating it out backstage. Yeah, man. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. You can follow me on Twitter at Glenn Rubenstein. Appreciate a follow and a shout-out. And we'll see you back here next time, folks, on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.